If you're from Monterey County, you've probably heard or driven by Most Landing, California. It's a tiny coastal town tucked between Monterey and Santa Cruz, home to barely 3 dozen residents and one of the most breathtaking ecosystems on Earth. In this tiny coast, seal basks in the sun, birds dance through the sky, and ocean tides carve paths through the Elkhorn Slough. A marine sanctuary, really. I come here to run and enjoy the nice breeze. Others come here to kayak, whale watch, walk the dunes, eat fresh seafood, and admire the stillness of something rare, a town where nature still reigns. But just across the road, something is silently poisoning this sanctuary.
Battery plant fire is ongoing on a number of fronts, and the cleanup is also moving forward.
Fire has erupted at the Moss Landing power plant. Some evacuations are underway close to that plant, and some residents have been ordered to close all of their windows and doors and turn their air conditioning off. The CHP says Highway 1 is shut down in that area to all traffic. There is no word at this point when it's going to reopen. This is video from the ground at Moss Landing. Fire crews and EMS, along with hazmat crews, made it to the scene. Our sister station, KION, reports that those crews appeared to be letting the fire burn itself out. You can see the flames just roaring.
On January 16, 2025, Moss Landing caught fire again. A plume of black smoke rose from the Vistra battery storage facility, the largest of its kind in the world. Highway 1 shut down. Over 1,200 residents were ordered to evacuate. Thousands stayed locked inside. We were told to shut off ventilators, close windows, and pray that the air wasn't toxic.
The county is also committed to keeping the public informed. Rick Encarnacion with the county's environmental health department says they have added a geographical information system, which is basically a map indicating where they have done soil, water, and air testing.
Soon, hopefully by the end of the month, we'll have an application online where people could see a map of the area and pinpoint areas of where we've done sampling and the data that's related to those pinpoints.
Encarnacion says that when the fire happened, they did receive many calls from the people concerned about the environmental impact.
We were told that everything was fine, that no hydrogen fluoride detected, officials claimed. But this wasn't our first fire. We had one in September 2021, February 2022, September 2022, and now this one in 2025. This is not an isolated event. This is negligence. It's been happening and it will happen again. To make matters worse, the Vistra Energy battery facility sits just yards from the Elkhorn Slough Reserve, the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary, and acres of farmland that feed this region. Ironically, while locals need multiple permits just to build a shed or trim a tree, this mega facility stacked with fire-prone lithium-ion batteries was built and expanded with little public input. We now know why. This was never about the community. Residents, including myself, are convinced it was about convenience, legacy zoning, profit margins. A site once used to fossil fuel repurposed to greenwash the same agenda. Corporate gain over public safety is what matters to them. The January fire released heavy metals, nickel, manganese, cobalt into our skies and soil. Independent testing showed contamination 3 times above safety limits. Researchers from Moss Landing Marine Labs found dangerous levels in marshland soil. Crops risk absorbing these metals. Wildlife may never recover. I live here. I breathe this air and drive past these fields every day. And the government's response, you may ask? Well, they offered a gift card and a survey too. But the community isn't staying silent. Every first Monday of the month, they meet. I attended last Monday's meeting and found out it was a community gathering focused on preventing in Watsonville what has already happened in Moss Landing. It was shocking to learn that Moss Landing's case was used as a worst-case scenario and a warning. At this meeting, I ran into Becky Steinbrunner. Becky is a strong advocate for environmental safety. She even ran for Santa Cruz County Supervisor in District 2 and earned a lot of community support. She's been one of the loudest voices holding officials accountable after the Moss Landing fire. She's also been raising red flags about the new battery facility planned in Minto Road, off of Green Valley Road in Watsonville, being developed by a Massachusetts-based New Leaf Energy company. Becky had a lot of interesting information to say.
One thing that Dr. Aiello said in his talk at UCSC is they were out, his team was out and they saw the EPA people sampling not where the smoke had gone, but on the ocean side of the smoke. And so they went over and said, hey, why don't you come over with us and take some samples there? And Dr. Aiello put this mapper showing the sample sites of his team and the sample sites of the EPA, which were almost all like near the beach. And there was one sample up over where Dr. Aiello's team had them. He said, guess what? They found something and they never came out.
Becky has been relentless in showing up, asking the questions and refusing to let this just fade away. The strange part is that the EPA never came back. No follow-up, no transparency, just silence. And that silence doesn't stop with the EPA. The same silence has been a common practice by other organizations like the Elkhorn Stew Foundation, a nonprofit that calls itself the guardian of this coastal sanctuary. For decades, they've raised millions claiming to protect this watershed, conserve native species, and maintain the environmental health. Yet when the community most needed them, they stayed quiet. Elkhorn Stew Foundation Inmost Landing claims to protect over 4,000 acres of habitat since 1982. They raise millions for conservation, restoration, and clean water. Their mission sounds noble, but when a massive battery plant was approved just yards from this fragile ecosystem, they said nothing. And after the fire, well, we all know toxic metals like nickel, cobalt, and manganese have surged in the marsh soil by hundreds, even thousands of times. These are known toxins tied to battery fires. So where was the foundation, the guardians of the slough? Their response? Well, vague statements and promises to assess impacts. No urgency, no accountability, just plain silence. This same foundation receives millions in donations, including from corporate partners and land developers. So we may ask, is there silence about convenience? Because if you claim to protect this land, you don't get to stay quiet when it's being poisoned. These fires sparked more than damage. Out of the ashes of the fire, Never Again Most Landing was born, and it's growing into resistance. The community now leads the charge. We are organizing legal action. We are demanding data transparency. We are testing our own water, and we are calling out every official and organization that stayed silent, especially those who should have protected us. And yes, we all agree that California needs battery storage. We also support renewable energy, but not like this. Not with fire departments unequipped to respond. Not with facilities expanding next to homes, farms, and estuaries. Not while politicians like Senator Laird take donations from Tesla and Vistra, then write laws based on Tesla-linked safety codes. This isn't clean energy. This is regulatory capture. This is our land, our food, our health. And we will not be collateral damage in someone else's profit scheme. We are residents, not statistics. We are organizers, not bystanders. Get involved. Ask questions. You never know when one of these plants can be planned near you. Call your supervisors, complain, write to your legislators, ask hard questions. Show up, be loud. If you are watching this, join us. Never Again Most Landing meets every first Monday of the month. Come to the next event, Saturday, May 24 at 10 a.m.